Hey guys, it's Richard from Grafting Dragon Fruits, and I hope you guys all had a happy holiday. It's been a pretty wet season here in Southern California, and a lot of fungus has been happening. A very common fungus that happens on dragon fruit is called Cactus Rust. The little orange or brown spots that starts to appear on your branches, and if left untreated, it can actually very damage your branch, and you would have to cut them off because rot starts to happen. And I have examples of that here in my garden today, so that way I can help you guys and show you guys how I take care of them. What I have in front of me here is a bunch of fungicides and organics and some fungicides that are chemical to help treat your dragon fruit. I always go the organic side first to see if I can control it that way, and if it becomes too much of a problem, it's actually spreading, I will go to the part where they have a little bit chemical, but it helps saves your dragon fruit. So when all comes to worse, then you're gonna have to go this route. But I'm gonna show you guys the organic side, and if it doesn't work, there are other options for you to use, and it all depends on how you wanna take care of your garden. Okay, so let's talk about the stuff that I have here on this table. Here is alcohol. You always wanna have alcohol because when treating these fungicides, you want to make sure that all of your tools that you're using are safe and sterile. I like to use single-use things like this scalpel. It's sterile already, so I'll throw this away after I use it. I have some shears that I use all the time, so I make sure I alcohol these before I use them, and make sure you use 70% alcohol. It's very important to use 70% alcohol is because that's the percentage that actually kills the harmful bacteria that spreads on all of your dragon fruits. I have a 90% bottle here, but it was empty, so I just used this because it can spray, and I just filled it up with 70%. So make sure you use 70%, and that's what's gonna get rid of the fungus and bacteria that's gonna spread, okay? Here I have a organic mix that I made for the copper rust that's happening on the dragon fruits. What it is it's just 3% hydrogen peroxide that I mix in half ratio, 1-to-1 ratio. So half of it is hydrogen peroxide and the other half is just water. You can use this to control the cactus rust once it's in a low grade form. Like when you start to see it appear, that's when I would use this and try to control it as much as I can. Sometimes this works. It makes the spots turn brown and scabs up, and you can peel it off with your finger, and I'll show you guys that once we get to that part. Okay, this is another organic type of fungicide to use. This is called Plant Doctor. The recommended dosage to use for this is about 2 to 3 teaspoons per gallon. And you would mix this in a bottle and put it into a sprayer and go ahead and spray it. And this works very well as well. You use it when it's at its low grade form. The quicker you control it, the more efficient you are using this, you can take care of it better. Once it starts to spread, it really takes over the branch and the rot starts to happen, and you're gonna have to start doing some surgery on it to remove those affected areas. So this is another organic fungicide to use. And you wanna use this every 14 days, so about 2 weeks. Spray it and then see how it is and keep it up for 14 days. If it's very aggressive and you want to use this to actually control it, it's 7 days to stop the spreading, and at 7 days you can start to use it at 14 days to help control and maintain the rust, the fungicides to come back. So if all of your organics did not work, copper fungicide is gonna definitely knock it out. This is a stronger fungicide. It is not organic. It is actually a chemical mix, but it is very good at controlling all of the stuff that happens, like early bright black spots, and then these are like kind of the rust that happens once it goes too far into the damage. And copper fungicide you want to use for the first 7 days, once every 7 days. Once you control it again, 14 days after that to maintain it, okay? And that's if all of this option has failed, then you can go ahead and use the copper fungicide to really get rid of it. And if you just want to skip all of the steps here and not try to mess around with the copper fungicide, use this and then just go ahead and spray this and then follow what I just said, and it will control it. And once you have controlled all of your fungus, all of those cactus rust has been scabbing, and you know that you're pretty confident that it's not going to spread anymore and it looks good, go ahead and start using neem oil. Neem oil is going to be for maintenance. I use this every 14 days and I'll spray it on all of my branches and on all of my dragon fruits. And this is going to help it from getting the cactus rust and being spread and infect it all over again. So once you controlled it, you've made it stop, this is what's gonna help prevent it from coming back. So neem oil is a organic type of mixture. It comes from a plant base, and you can use this. It makes a protective film over the branches, so that way none of the airborne diseases can latch on and then start to settle in, okay? So that's all of the products that I use and how I use it. The only thing I didn't mention is the organic cinnamon. So try your best to use organic cinnamon because you're gonna be opening flesh, and when you put this organic cinnamon on, it helps prevent bugs and other diseases to settle in. And once you open up flesh, bugs love to come and eat at it. This repels them and it helps kind of seals it. It's kind of like a band-aid for the open flesh. So I'll show you guys how I use this too, because there are some branches that I'm gonna need to cut. All right, so that is all. I'm gonna go ahead and put some gloves on. We're gonna go check out all of the stuff that I have on my plants and show you guys how I would treat each one, okay? So we'll start with the low-grade stuff, and that's just gonna be me using the hydrogen peroxide with water, and I'll show you guys what low-grade looks like. So this is what I would consider low-grade here. You see that the Cactus Rust is orange. There are little spots that are starting to form. And what you're gonna do is just take your hydrogen peroxide and water, just give it a good spray. Just like that. And this is just hydrogen peroxide and water. And you let it settle. There are some more over here that I'm gonna spray. And over here, so I would consider this low grade as well because it's not damaging anything, it's just kind of appearing. So we're gonna go ahead and just spray these, and we hope that this will scab it up and prevent it from spreading anymore. Here are some more low grade. This is on my regen, and this just every winter when it's cold and wet, this happens. So you guys don't be worried. It's not the end of the world. You guys just gotta make sure you're on top of it and you're treating it as it comes, and your dragon fruits will be okay. Once it picks up and the warm weather comes back, they will all scab up and go away. Here is another one, and this one looks a little bit more severe. If you look, the indentations are starting to actually go in. That kind of tells me that the rot is actually starting to happen. We're gonna try it with the hydrogen peroxide, but if I see that it's actually still eating at the branch, I'll go to the plant doctor, and if the plant doctor doesn't work, then I'll go to copper fungicide, okay? But we're gonna go ahead and just try the hydrogen peroxide first. We're gonna try to keep it as organic as possible because we do eat these fruits, they are from our garden. So those are the low grade ones. Now we're gonna talk about these ones over here. This one is what it looks like if you don't treat the cactus right away. If you look at the branch, it's starting to rot and starting to eat the flesh away. So this is where my organic cinnamon and my scalpel is gonna come and be very helpful. So I'm just gonna put that right here. And I'm gonna show you guys what I do. If the branch becomes way too hard to save, and let's say it got damaged about 70% of the branch, I would totally cut the whole branch off and remove it, because it's gonna be more of a problem for you than it's gonna be beneficial, because that branch is actually gonna spread it to all of your other branches. So it's best to just kind of remove things when they're just way too far gone. So here's my scalpel, and I'm just gonna cut all of the affected area, starting with right here. I like to cut a little bit of the green so then it makes sure that all of the fungus is gone. And this is how I would do it. Okay. Just want to get all this affected stuff out. It's not needed. It's a little tough right here. Okay. So I'm gonna cut from the back to the front. So you can see my little scalpel. I'm just gonna, continue to cut down. And there it is. That's what you're gonna have. And you wanna see that there is green and all the affected area is cut off. I'm gonna put that on the side. Make sure you discard that very far away so that it doesn't touch any other plants, so then it gets affected. And this is where our organic cinnamon, it's gonna come in handy. You can just kind of spring it on there. Sorry. Just like that. You spread it to the open wound. And that's how you treat a rotted copper fungicide branch. So if it gets too far, this is what you can do. It'll heal over and the spreading will stop. There is another branch right behind me that is pretty damaged, and if you look, there is Cactus Rust starting to eat at everything. Something already ate at it. So I think I'm just gonna remove that branch completely. So I'm gonna grab my shears and come and clip it off. Okay, so yeah, this branch looks pretty bad. I have my 70% alcohol here. Make sure you give it a good spray. Kind of let it, all of that drip off. Here we go. So here, this is the branch that I'm gonna take off. And this branch looks like it has some cactus rust going on, but it's not too bad, so I'm gonna leave it. But I'm gonna show you guys how bad this one is. Look, there's something that's been eating at it. The cactus rot is happening here. And look at this one. There's indentations in there. So this one's really bad. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of it and toss this away. Okay. And if we go over here, here are some of the cactus rust that has damaged and rotted my branch. This is my Ecuador Pelora. This is where I've made the surgical cut here to remove all the rot, and all of this was treated by copper fungicide. So what I did was I used copper fungicide to control what I can, and what else rotted I just cut away, put cinnamon, organic cinnamon on it, and then it was treated. And that's how you guys treat organically and chemically if you guys wanted to. And once it all heals, this is what it's going to look like once they start to scab up. So if you come down here, this is some cactus rust that I've already treated, and it looks like it's starting to scab up and stop spreading. So you look here, this is what it looks like once they start to scab. And that means you did a good job. You controlled it. And what you can do is, if you don't want this to stick around, you can take your fingernail and you can just start plucking them all off. So you guys are seeing how it just comes right off, just like that. You see that? That's how you know that you've controlled it, you've treated it, and you took care of the problem, and now your plant's gonna be very happy because you saved its life. And that's what gardening is all about, you guys. It just takes time with figuring things out, and you learn through experience. And that's what I'm showing you guys here. As you can see, that's what it looks like once cactus rust is totally controlled and you've stopped the spreading. All right, guys. I hope you guys thought this episode was helpful, and if you guys have any questions of all the products I use, go ahead and leave in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. And if you guys want to see more grafting and dragon fruit videos of mine, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And that's it. See you guys next time. Bye now.